son. I know. How you doing, Eric? I'm ready. Yeah. Shabbat shalom. How are you all this morning? Anybody looking forward to something coming up? Anybody? Rain? Oh yeah. Well, I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about yes. Hold on. Because I think everybody needs to hear it. So we got some good news.
The results of my PET scan showed that there's no cancer in my lung. There's just inflammation from the radiation. And I will finish my chemo pills this month.
Baruch Hashem, thank you so much for that. I was going to ask if anybody else had anything, but I think that pretty much takes the cake, right? No. I mean, for those who don't know, I forgot to mention it last night. I will be gone, going on vacation on Monday until the following Thursday. So you won't see me for Shabbat. But no, only one. Oh yeah. I made it so that it's only one. Yeah, but I just wanted to let those of you know so you can pass it along if somebody asks you, "Where's the cantor?" Yes. So the rabbi wasn't here this week. The attendance dropped. The cantor's not here next week. No one's showing up. I know. Okay, so let's take a moment to just appreciate that we've made it through another week. Some of us have been given good news. Some of us may have been given bad news. But, Eric, but we're here. We're here, and we're here with our community, with our second family, with some who are family, but we've made it another week. And that in itself is an accomplishment. So let us turn to page 292. We'll be using Shabbat morning service number 2 today. And one of the things that I've always had trouble with is the idea that my soul goes somewhere when I go to sleep. This teaching that our soul returns to God for upkeep, for a little bit of R&R. Our soul is rejuvenated while we sleep, and then it is returned to us. For me, when I was young, that was very scary. And I'm sure back before we had many of the scientific breakthroughs and knowledge that we have today, it was, of course, very scary back then to fall asleep and not know if you were going to wake up. But we have this beautiful bit of, inspired by Job, this Elohai Neshama. Let us all read together the English, because we sing this so many times, but we don't read the English. I think it's important. The soul you have given me, O God, is pure. You created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you stain it. So long as I have breath, therefore, I will give thanks to you, my God and God of all ages, source of all being, loving guide of every human spirit. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Tehorahi. Ata berata, ata yetzarta, ata nefata bi, ve'ata meshambera, Meshamra birkirbi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatzata bi Tehorahi. We turn the page to 293 as we continue with the daily miracles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lesachvi bina leavchin ben yom uven laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'ayef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir shena me'enai utnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Let us turn the page to 298 as we read together in the English. These are the things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys in the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted to prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. I have a problem with this. I have a slight problem. Do you as well? Right. Yeah, it can, in some English I don't think it's a good translation, because in English it encompasses them all, so that's all you need to do, right? No, you don't. You got to do everything else with it, okay? This is an investment. It says it in this translation. Well, the person enjoys the fruit of the world while the principle remains in the world to come. It's an investment, right? We put it down now and we reap our benefit later. But we got to put it down now, right? We got to do these things while we're here. So whenever you read this, imagine that what it's really saying is, by doing all of these things, it is like you are reading the Torah and learning from it and growing from it and making the world better. but they're not two separate things, right? Yeah? Yes, by reading the Torah, exactly, Susan. It teaches you how to do this, but what do you have to do first? You got to read the Torah. Yes. Over and over again. I said this last night, Rabbi Ben Bagbag, turn it again, turn it around in your mind. And specifically, the Torah, okay? Yeah. As somebody who is not able to do any of the things by like physical disability, maybe mentally challenged, and God isn't making sure that everybody does all of the things. They ask you to do God asks you to do what you're capable of. Yeah. Right. So I'll give you an example. I had a bat mitzvah student who had autism, and quite severe. And we were trying to come up with a bat mitzvah plan for her. And the one thing that she loved to do that she would never shy away from was singing. So what did we do? We turned the whole service into a sing-along. Every single part of it. And is that child's understanding of what's going on the same as my understanding or the same as yours? No. But that's not the point. It's the spirituality of the moments. Have we created a moment in time that is special, that marks this time? So you can do that yes, all of these things are important to do. Visiting the sick, okay? But what if you don't have a car? Call the sick, okay? Visiting doesn't mean being there in person. It means checking up on the sick. I mean, literally it does mean visiting in person. But there are other things you can do. I know you spend an awful lot of time on this temple's phone, reaching out to people and talking to people. Mm-hmm. Yes. This is the point of being a community, of being part of Bnei Yisrael, specifically in the Jewish community, but it's also our responsibility outside. And so does it say here, visiting the sick Jewish person? Does it say dealing graciously with your Jewish guests? No, it means everybody, right? Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to have a little sidebar of that. Yeah, of course. Let us turn to page 312. As we prepare ourselves for the Baruch Hu with a Chatzi Kaddish, or the Reader's Kaddish, however you want to call it. I would like you to take a moment and look at the bottom of the page. The Kaddish is an ecstatic expression of praise to God. I love that definition. This also includes the Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. We are celebrating life. And in every moment that we change from one part of our life to the other, just like in a service, we change from one part of the service to the other, we have this ecstatic expression of praise to God to remind us why we're here, to remind us why we do good things in the world, because we want the world to be a better place, because we want everybody to experience good things. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה, ובזמן קריב יאמרו, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivarach Le'alam ulal me'almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Barichu Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata namiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen. We turn the page and rise for the Baruch Hu. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai. Barechu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Va'ed. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai. We turn the page to 318 as we focus our minds on the one who is with us always. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. We continue on the next page, 319. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha ayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Page 320. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta alehem ve'asu lahem tzitzit al kanfei vigdehem lidorotam V'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf petil techelet v'haya lachem litzitzit uritem oto uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam ve'lo taturu acharei levavchem ve'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, li'ot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emetz. The one thing that I think this prayer book lacks is, do you remember the blue one that had like 7 different services per 7 different evening services, 7 different morning services? There were so many options, so many wonderful things. I just think on the next page, page 321, this sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song, so many people can say this by rote. They can say it off the top of their head. So many of my fellow colleagues can. And it's become, unfortunately, like sort of an inside joke. So I would like us today to renew this reading. I would like us to look at each of these words with intention and think about how each word helps get the point across. It's not just sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. No, it's not just there for us just to blast through. Let us read each of these words. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Who here can imagine that world right now? Can you hear that song? It's hard, isn't it? But this is what's needed for peace. You see, the last line of it is peace. But what is needed first? Respect. Peace is not just about saying, fine, I'm not going to hit you. It's about understanding each other. It's about coming together and working towards a better goal. It's difficult nowadays to think about that. Yes, love your neighbor as yourself. Sometimes that's hard, though. You got that annoying neighbor across the street who won't take down the Christmas lights even though it's July. But maybe that's more of a Midwest thing. I don't know. But you understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes things get under our skin. Things annoy us. Things make us squirm, and we just want to lash out. But what did I say last night? Anybody remember? We have to be better than those who came before us. We have to learn from our mistakes. And that doesn't just mean the mistakes that you personally make. It means the mistakes that your friend makes. Because if you're paying attention and you learn from your friend's mistake, then you won't make that mistake. Maybe. World's not 100% a coin flip. But you get what I mean. We have to step up and begin this process. And it begins with respect. We turn the page. Or maybe you don't. Yes, you do. See, this is the problem with the iPad, is that when I say turn the page and you guys just look at the other page. I know, but I'm getting off topic. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osef eleh Nora tehilot osef eleh Shir achadasha shir b'chu geulim Leshimcha asfat hayam Yachad kulam hodu Vehimlichu ve'yameru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. I'm going to do what you're not supposed to do and interrupt right here. Look at the third word of the upcoming Hebrew line. The third paragraph. Kuma. Anybody know what that means? Anybody? Get up. It means rise. It means get up. And I wanted to introduce a tradition that I see in many other synagogues. And maybe you want to start doing this, but if you don't know about it, then you can't make your own decision. But a lot of people actually stand at Kuma in order to prepare themselves for, and also so that the rabbi doesn't say, please rise. Because you're not actually supposed to have a break between the Michamocha and the Amidah. Okay, in the Talmud it says you must juxtapose the salvation, the redemption of Israel with the Amidah, and that literally means don't have a break in between, kind of like what I'm doing right now. But I wanted to introduce that tradition in case you wanted to do it. Zur Yisrael, Kuma Bezrat Yisrael, Ufdei Chinumecha, Yehuda veYisrael. Go Aleinu Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, Yedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Ya'al Yisrael. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel chasadim tovim vekonei hakol vezocher chasdei avot v'imahot umeviu lalifnei b'neihem leman shemo ve'ahava melech ozer Moshiach magen Baruch atah Adonai magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, הכתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, בכל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מהדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, ומושיענו והוא ישמיענו, מרחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם. אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We take the next moments for our own silent prayer. You may be seated when you are ready. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן בחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו, Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael, Amecha, Barucheinu Avinu kulanu ke'echad, be'or panecha. Ki be'or panecha natat lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed berachamim, aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Amen. While I was preparing for the Sim Shalom, I had this great idea. Next Saturday, everybody who's here, right before the Amidah, when you do Tzur Yisrael, you're all going to stand up on Kuma, and the rabbi is going to freak out. And it's going to be wonderful. He's going to be like, who taught you that? I learned from watching the cantor. But I think that would just be so cool. Yeah? Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say something, Jay. Oh, okay. No, but I think it would be a nice surprise for him. I think it would be. Okay, now we will turn to our Torah service. Did you want to say anything before we get started? No. Okay. We turn to page 362, right? Sooner or later, I'll remember all these pages. As we rise for Seder Kriyat HaTorah. What? Yes, exactly. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Adon Shemo, Gadlu Adonai iti, Uneromema Shemo Yachdav, Lecha Adonai Hagidula v'hagivura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod, Ichol b'shamayim uvaretz, Ichol b'shamayim uvaretz, Lecha Adonai hamelacha, Le'amid nahasei lechol nerosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Cool. Yeah, we're starting at the top, starting at the very top.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Thank you. ואלה שמות בני ישראל, בני ישראל, הבאים מצרימה, את יעקב איש וביתו באו, ראובן, שמעון, לוי ויהודה, יששכר, זבולון ובנימין, דן, נפתלי, גד ואשר. ויהי כל נפש יציא ירך יעקב 70 נפש, ויוסף היה במצרים. וימוץ יוסף וכל אחיו וכל הדור ההוא. ובני ישראל הרו ויסרצו וירבו ויעצמו במאוד מאוד ותמלא, תודה, והארץ אותם.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Although our Torah, as we read through in the Chumash, are separate books, very strong connection after hundreds of years between the book of Genesis and the book of Exodus. As Cantor Dan said early on in his drash last night, what's the key word? What is the name in Hebrew of this Torah portion? The names, if we translate it, and what did Cantor just read? The names that had been in Egypt but are no longer in Egypt because we're centuries beyond at the moment. Connections are so important in learning Torah. And before we go ahead to the remaining part of our service, at this time we'd like to offer healing prayers to many of our friends and family of Temple Sinai who have mild illness or chronic illness or are recovering from a major health crisis and are doing better. And before I read the list, let me take a moment to go around the room here in the sanctuary to see if anyone wants to send healing prayers to a friend or a family member. Yes. Thank you. And our friends at home, please recite the names of your loved ones as I read the list of Temple Sinai members. Ed Ames, Maxine Orst, Erwin Botwinick, Margaret Chapman, Lynn Dunton, Eliza Eisenman, Lenore Friedman, Danielle and Tom Gabor, Marilyn Glass, Carol Goldberg, Anita Goldstein, Fega Goodman, Melvin Grebler, Aline and Joe Greif, James Hernan, Bobby Hyde, Joyce Israel, Reuven Kamian, Florence Carmel, Howard Cohn, Susan Kramer, Marcia London, Donna Lopater, Harriet Meyer, Nels Miller, Rosa Gilmiller, Melvin Mogul, Tama Pasternak, Paul Schoenberg, Sam Shapiro, Bob Silver, Harriet Silverman, Jerome Simon, Joyce Simon, Janet Thaler, Zena Wagner, Barbara Weinberg, and Warren Weiss. We'll join together with the cantor, and on our screen for those who are on virtual Temple Sinai, there will be a list of additional names of friends and family of Temple Sinai.
Page 371. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Before we return and finish up the service, I just thought I emphasized two specific words when I was reading, and they're right at the beginning. B'nai Yisrael. Guess what? They just became the nation of Israel. Literally the children of Israel, of course, but B'nai Yisrael, the nation of Israel. This is the first time we're called that. Not really, but this is the first time somebody else refers to the Israelites, us, thank you, as B'nai Yisrael. Pharaoh refers to us that way. He was scared. He didn't know about these people. He didn't know where they'd come from, what their hardship was. He wasn't taught. He wasn't learned. Why? That's not important. What's important is what happened after. He was afraid. He was afraid of the unknown. Who here has ever been afraid to do something new? Your hand isn't up. I know your hand is up inside. Even though I personally love new things, love meeting new people, there's still that little sense, that natural instinct to stay away from something unknowable. It's within our nature. It's protective. It's from back when we were hunters and gatherers, and we sensed something was wrong, so we went back to our cave, we went back to our hut, and we were safe. But now there's so much out here for us to experience, to enjoy, to learn about. But if we don't take the opportunity to do so, if we don't step outside our own comfort zone every now and then, we become complacent. And we become fearful of that change. And that can lead to many bad things. But I'm going to keep this short this morning. My charge to you is acknowledge that you are scared of something new, if that comes up. Acknowledge it. Embrace it. Be like, I am a human being who's scared of doing something new because my ancestor, my genes, my nature, my intuition, this is what our brains were built to do. It's to stay safe. But I'm going to say it's okay to step outside my comfort zone, try this new thing, meet this new person, and I'm going to maybe enjoy it. I may not enjoy it. But guess what? I'll never know unless I try. So acknowledge that fear of something new. Accept it. And then you can move on. I hope this for each and every one of you. Yes, Jay. Yeah. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. So for those who are online, I'll restate the question. Please let me know if I'm misstating it. It seems impossible that Pharaoh didn't know about this because pharaohs were sons of sons of sons, right? And what you're positing is that he was more afraid of the population, of the growth of the Jewish people. Yes, this is true. This is true. It's literally says in there that these Bnei Israel have grown numerous, have grown too numerous, and they may take up arms against us. Yes. It could also be cancel culture. Cancel culture has been around since the beginning of things. Cancel culture is somebody doesn't like something, so they get it removed from they get it removed. I wouldn't say history books, but maybe they get it removed from popularity, or they get it like you don't like a certain item in the store, and enough people band together, you can get that item removed from the store. Thus, it's been canceled. Yes.
That did happen to Jewish people.
Yes.
And now it's happening to the Islamic people. And it happens to population.
It's so yes. We have to be very careful in how we word things. Because, for instance, saying that everybody who comes, any immigrant who comes into America is bringing crime. Okay? That's stupid. That phrase in and of itself is stupid. You couldn't say that if you brought a whole bunch of people over, that every single one of them is going to bring in crime. Or every single one. The worst one is when they say disease. They're bringing in disease, right? We heard that. Where did we hear that in our Jewish history? In the Holocaust. Jews were like rats. They brought disease everywhere. Vermin, right? Yeah. Or, yes, when they got blamed for the Black Death and the plague, because they washed hands, because it was in their tradition to go to the mikvah, to wash hands, to do all of these things, and to isolate themselves in a community. It was just natural for Jews to do that, and people saw that these Jews weren't getting sick, and so they thought, well, they must be the ones making this disease if they're not the ones getting sick. You see what happens when we start pointing the fingers at other people? They say this, you point one finger at somebody, three are pointing back at you, whatever. But we have to be careful, because what comes after they bring disease? They bring crime. They're not human. Once we remove the humanity from a group, we're okay doing anything we want to them. We justify it. I think, and this goes to many of the feelings that I think a lot of us have been feeling since October, is that it's easy for us to say these people aren't human. No, their actions aren't human. We, as a Jewish people, do not have the luxury to say that a human being is not a human, as much as we want to say it. But again, we must be better than those who came before us. As hard as it is, those people are still humans. They deserve justice, yes. And sometimes in the world, justice means eliminating a problem. But it is how we go about that. It is how we go about seeking justice that determines whether we are standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, or are we standing behind them? We hiding behind the corner? Are we hiding in a basement? Yes, Jay. Yes. Yeah, we want to have a better life for the next generation, yet we consistently rely on, for example, oil. Uh-oh. He said oil in the synagogue. And no, I'm not talking about the lights. Oil on this planet is a finite resource. It is not renewable. We have to go searching more and more for this oil. They develop new methods of doing it. Great, wonderful. But it's gonna run out eventually. Why not start now in making the change? Who here has tried to do a big change in their house all at once? Has anybody ever tried that? Like, I'm going to rearrange the furniture in this room and I'm going to do it all now. Or this house is so dirty, I'm going to clean it all in 1 hour. What's easier? Do it a little bit at a time. In fact, do it as you're going along your daily routine. Clean up a little bit here. Oh, I'm making lunch and something's heating up in the microwave. While those 2 minutes are going, I'm not just going to sit there and twiddle my thumbs. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to do a little bit here and a little bit there, so at the end, it's done. But if we don't start doing it now, we put a down payment now. We will reap the reward later. But if we don't allow that investment to grow, if we go back to that investment analogy, then we've lost our chance to make the world a better place. Do you want to do announcements now? Just get them out of the way? Yeah.
Well, as we say, the Saturday morning announcements are a very condensed version, basically, and we don't want to get this out of the way because we do want to thank the people that sponsored this week. Everything else you said, I agree with. That I got issue with. Shabbat services this week are sponsored by Charles Plotkin in memory of his daughter Abby J. Plotkin, Marilyn and Dr. Jerry Wilk in memory of Jerry's father Jacob Wilk, Judy and David Stern in memory of Sandy Silver, Helene and Sidney Wortell in memory of Sandy Silver, Lynn Weinstein in memory of her mother Phyllis Milden. Following donations to the community food pantries, which are, I will explain briefly. If you look on the bima, you see a little package of stuff. It's a basket. We call it a bima basket. It is a symbol of the fact that we collect money through these donations, and we donate money every month to the Jacobson Family Food Pantry and also Cross Ministries, who operates the Caring Kitchen and feeds many people in Delray. Both of those organizations do wonderful work, and we're part of it. Anyway, the following donations to the community food pantries are sponsored by Zena Wagner in memory of her brother Brian Moskowitz, Gail Summers in memory of her father-in-law, Lawrence Summers. Marcy Anshin and Larry Oken in memory of Larry's mother, Ida Oken. Rosalind Weiss in memory of her mother, Regina Gilbert, and her father, Dr. Albert Gilbert. And Onyx sponsorships this week were Ellen and Jack Ismailon in honor of Ellen's birthday, Melvin Mogel in honor of his birthday. And our Saturday Torah study is sponsored by Rebecca Lipman in memory of her father, Harry Abramowitz, and her sister, Sylvia Abramowitz. Cookie Sagerman in memory of Sandy Silver. Margaret Chapman and Stanley Schenker in honor of Margaret's birthday. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, one more thing just quickly. Anybody who has heard about, Rabbi's Zohar class, as you probably know, Rabbi will be returning next week, and his Zohar class in his office will be at 9:30. So if you'd like to attend that before services, that would be wonderful. Just come on. And services will be at 10:30.
Thank you so much. Yes. No. We did that. Yeah. You want to do it? Yeah. I call Eric Adams to be our Hagba. I just thank you for everything that you do for this temple. So we rise as we return the Torah to the Ark. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, dai dai. Eitz chayim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomeha meushar deracheha narchei noam lechol netzivoteha Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai, Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Page 586 for the Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol lateit gedula leotzer bereshit shelo asanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu kemishpachot adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem vegoran leinu kechol hamonam va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo echad.
At this time in our morning service, we turn to recall loved ones, family, and friends whose yortzites are during this week, and we pay homage to them, including those whose names are and memorial plaques are kindled along our sanctuary walls, and others, as well as friends and family who have recently passed, and we are in the Shloshim period for those folks. We mourn the recent passing of Sandy Silver, longtime member of this congregation whose passing was only a week ago, and we send love to her family. We honor the memories of Harry Abramowitz, Sylvia Abramowitz, Dr. Joseph Cohen, Ruth Dugatkin, Jonas Eig, Milton Garone, Ruth Kronik, Marilyn Krupnik, Bertha Landman, Lillian Lieb, Arlene Levine, Ann Lipschitz, Susie Lowinger, Gloria Picas, Ann Rankin, Ruth Roth, Leo Shine, Jenny Schwartz, Lawrence Summers, Myrna Spunt, Sarah Vinnick, and Milton Warshaw. We also mourn Gladys Abraham, Jack Gerstein, Dr. Alex Gilbert, Regina Gilbert, Ida Greenfield, Rose Hurwitz, Alfred Kaufman, Sarah Morgenstein, Brian Moskowitz, Ida Oken, Nathan Oliver, Abby Plotkin, Ruben Sapoznik, Harry Rosenberg, Janice Shapiro, Sandra Tobias, Monty Warren, Samuel Weber, Jacob Wilk, and my mother, Phyllis Milden. As I go around the sanctuary, if you're observing a yortzeit this morning or this week, please recite the names of your loved ones. Okay. Bonnie? I didn't hear, I'm sorry. Lois Warrenborn. Others, and the folks at home, and we also mourn the passing of men, women, and children since October. Let's stand now and recite together, as Jewish people do throughout the world, the Kaddish Yatom, which you will find in your prayer book on page 598.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, me'almat yivrach v'yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei alamaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yithalal shemei dekudasha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shalom harav amin shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen.
May there be abundant peace from heaven and life for us and all Israel. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. For those of you who weren't here last night, I just wanted to give another plug to my ongoing Talmud classes. I'll be re-offering the Intro to Talmud coming up soon on weekends. So it's either going to be on Saturdays or Sundays, and then also a upcoming music appreciation class to learn a little bit more about why Jewish music sounds the way it does, why good music sounds good, and why bad music may not actually be that bad. But I hope you look out for those. Those are going to be really fun classes. We end with an Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We rise for a concluding blessing. Dear God, please give us the strength to be better than those who came before us, to give us the courage to try new things, to give us the power to make the world a better place. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Please join us for a little bit of Motzi and Kiddush and a little Nash.